All right, for the eighth bout, coach, partner, can you tell me more about this fight?
The eighth bout is another 6-round professional boxing with Joey Tilbe Jr. on the red corner versus Robert
We would
Ronquillo
like
on
to
the
thank the
blue
following
corner.
sponsor.
Coming to the ring, Robert Ronquillo.
Ladies and gentlemen, Robert Ronquillo.
Ako nga pala si Joey Tilbe, ah stable. Stable ko ay Montalban Rizal, legal na Kamao Boxing Gym. Kamusta ang paghahanda sa training? Ginawa ko lahat para makuha yung timbang sa ilang buwan na ginugol ko lahat na makakaya ko para sa training. Saka syempre, mahirap din kasi yun nga, nasa timbang pag hindi mo talaga kaya na makuha yung timbang, gagawin mo talaga lahat ng hindi naniniwala sa akin, makita nila kung gano'n na ako nag-improve sa buhay.
Para kanino mo inaalay itong laban na to?
Inaalay ko tong laban na to para sa pamilya ko at sa mga taong nagtitiwala rin sa akin, sa mga taong sumusuporta para sa akin.
Mga gusto mong pasalamatan?
Pinapasalamatan ko pala si Quadro sa promotion na to kasi isa ako sa napili niya. Tsaka sa mga promoter at mga sponsor ko dyan, pinapasalamatan ko po sila. Right.
Making his way to the ring, Joey Tilbe Jr.
Walang araw ang isa sa amin magiging kampiyon. Ligan na pamao ang bagong henerasyon. Ang bago nyo nga abang nasa loob na natutungtong. Mga mandirit mo, mga kamay parang kanyon. At walang araw ang isa sa amin magiging kampiyon. Representative, kami ng Montalban. Malamang sa malamang kami ay palaban. Walang inaatrasan, lahat pinapalagan.
Alright, so ito na ang 8th bout of the evening. This is a fight between Joey Tilbe on the red corner, Robert Ronquillo on the blue corner.
Joey Tilbe on red and blue trunks, Robert Ronquillo, black and white.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome inside the Montalban Gymnasium here in the beautiful town of Montalban, Rizal. Riel Casimero's Quadro Alas Promotion proudly present Bakbakan sa Montalban, the third punch, in partnership with the Municipality of Montalban, Rizal, Payantog Sports, and Legal na Kamao Boxing Gym, in coordination with Honorable Mayor General Ronnie Evangelista and Vice Mayor Edgardo Season, and the head of Montalban Sports Development Office, Mr. Elmer Ardaniel. This next bout is 6 rounds of boxing in the light flyweight division. The 3 judges scoring at ringside are Carlo Baluyo, Virgilio Garcia, and Engineer Greg Ortega. And the third man in the ring, the man in charge of the action, is referee Elmer Costillas. Introducing first, the fighter in the blue corner, wearing white with black. Official weight, 112.2 pounds. He has a record of 2 victories, 2 defeats, 1 draw, and 0 knockout. From Knockout Boxing Gym, Pampanga, let us all welcome Robert Ronquillo. And his opponent, the fighter in the red corner, wearing red official weight, 113.4 pounds. He has an undefeated record of 3 victories with 1 draw and 1 knockout. From Legal Nakabao Boxing Gym, Montalban, Rizal, your very own. He is back, Joey Tilbe.
Sabi, another boxer from Team Montalban.
We're looking
Para
at the,
lumalabas, Montalban versus
the world.
the Philippines. And
the
so
very-
far, they're racking wins. Huh? They're making their hometown proud with the number of wins they are racking tonight.
Let us now see if the training of both fighters will pay off tonight as we see our 8th bout flyweight 6-rounder fight for the evening.
Yes.
And bakbakan na.
First round underway. So Tilbe is doing the southpaw stance, wearing the red and blue trunks, while Ronquillo
Also with the-
in a southpaw stance, wearing white and black trunks. Throwing a strong straight,
Tilbe,
aggressive punches coming from Tilbe early. The first round, first minute.
but you could just not discount.
Ronquillo trying to counter.
Ronquillo is actually defending properly with a turtled hunch defense, but Tilbe is actually
And now,
extending.
yes, Tilbe is now on the ropes. An early flurry of punches.
I wasn't expecting
on
to
the
see
first
that.
minute.
For a 6-rounder fight, I wasn't expecting to see that, Coach.
Maybe they're banking. Like I said, eto na yung mga heavier division. So we're gonna see heavy punches talaga.
And most definitely, they already know how to use their air, right?
Yes. And
Six
Tilbe
rounders.
seems to be a heavy puncher. Nice
Oh, galing.
weave backward
That's a back weave.
from Tilbe.
Coming from Tilbe, and we're seeing a different level into this game. Most
Head movement. Now he's put on the ropes.
both
by,
fighters seem to have
Ronquillo.
good gas tanks behind them. Parang hindi na tinag yung kapaguran, ha?
Yes. Good counter from Ronquillo, but Tilbe throwing a body punch, doing the high-low classic or the textbook boxing combinations.
But then again, despite the turtle hunch defense, Ronquillo is actually able to fight in the pocket
yes.
and giving out
Now
that one
Tilbe is just
uppercut.
punching the defenses of Ronquillo.
And
And
all Ronquillo has to do, coach, is to push
Ronquillo
away.
is trying to time the punches so he can do a proper
But
clean counter.
he's looking on the overhead, and as soon as he pushes Tilbe out, he sneaks in that good uppercut from the right.
It seems that Tilbe is confident with his stamina.
And there you go, just a good jab, flick jab
Flicker
for
jab. Ronquillo.
Ronquillo. And an
straight
overhead straight by
from
Tilbe.
Now he's putting Ronquillo in the corner. Ronquillo tries to counter, but still in the corner.
But if you think about it, Coach, Ronquillo is actually very good in fighting inside the pocket.
Yes, he's doing a good defense, trying to tire out Tilbe.
There you go.
At the
He's
early
using.
onset.
Is that a rope-a-dope we're seeing there? A rope-a-dope? Not yet.
Not yet, not yet. Good exchange of jabs.
Okay, Ronquillo is actually very efficient with his guard and very quick to fend off any attacks going into the body from Tilbe.
As far as power punches, Tilbe has thrown more.
Wait,
than-
we're still on the first round, right?
It is the first round.
I thought that was the third round already.
This is, but the intensity is really high. Right? End of the first round for the 8th bout. of the
Pretty.
evening.
I wasn't expecting an intense first round for a 6-rounder fight.
This
All
might just end really soon if Tilbe really has longer stamina and he's able to keep that intensity on the second round.
From afar, we're looking at an aggressive Tilbe, but we're also looking at a technical, skillful Ronquillo.
defensive game from Ronquillo. So we can't really say that the first round is on Tilbe's favor because Ronquillo was able to still do some effective counters, right?
Let us see if they'll make any adjustments on the next round. Because if we look at it, Ronquillo doesn't seem to be faced with the attacks of Tilbe.
Yes, he can keep it that way to try to see if Tilbe is going to run out of gas.
All right.
But
looking
we
at
might just see Ronquillo unleash some punches
two.
now.
round 2, both fighters seem to be in very good condition.
Now, Ronquillo is advancing forward,
And
trying to put Tilbe
advancing with a
in
guard,
the ropes.
but
Good head movement from Ronquillo.
Tilbe is actually swinging wildly.
Yes.
I think they're trying to land a knockout in this second round, coach.
Right, but again, he's probably very confident with his stamina, that's why. So let's see, but now we're seeing a change of pace.
But if we look at the record, coach, Tilbe has 1 KO in his repertoire. So,
Maybe because of his game.
and that's a good flick
Yes.
that landed square on the
For
forehead
Ronquillo.
of Tilbe in favor of Ronquillo. We could not discount Ronquillo.
Ronquillo is a counter puncher, and he has good head movement.
I don't know why, coach, but
Making Tilbe
I
miss.
actually like watching counter punchers making good on points.
Yes, because it's very, very skillful. Now, what a counter from Tilbe, but it did not sink in because Ronquillo is a good defensive boxer.
Every wild hook that's coming from Tilbe lands on the boxing glove of Ronquillo because he is squared in his defense. But let us see. Let us see how
Ronquillo
this...
seems to have a relaxed game, but able to counter.
And counter hit
Cleanly.
on Ronquillo, bringing
on Tilbe.
Tilbe onto the ropes. But Tilbe is coming in more with aggression,
Good
trying
hook
to end this
coming
early.
from Tilbe, grazing the temple of Ronquillo.
Flick jabs are working good for Ronquillo. Another one just landed on the forehead of Tilbe.
A body punch from Ronquillo landed clean.
It's
Another
good.
body punch from Ronquillo.
Tilbe,
Putting Tilbe on the
Tilbe
ropes.
coach could not afford to be very reckless in this fight.
Yes,
He
because
cannot
we can
afford
see
to be
now that Ronquillo is a defensive counter puncher.
And they probably did not expect that game plan from Ronquillo, who was coming in. Is he coming in like an underdog tonight, coach?
I don't think so, because
Another
he also
body
has
shot.
2 wins in his standing as a pro boxer.
They're fighting in the corner and they're fighting in the pocket. Infighting from both fighters. Let us see who emerges on top.
Body
Both-
shot from Tilbe,
All right.
landing clean on the body.
Okay, that's a flick
Of
jab
Ronquillo.
coming into Ronquillo, but Ronquillo is basically wiping it off, saying, I can basically
With-
take your punches.
With the head movement of Ronquillo, Tilbe is punching air. Now Ronquillo's back is on the ropes, but it seems Tilbe is now running out of air.
Ronquillo's infighting is actually very graceful.
Yes. He's waiting for Tilbe to run out of gas.
Kudos to Knockout Boxing Gym for training Robert Ronquillo. We're actually looking at a very good fight.
End of the second round. I think this is
And the round number
an
2.
evenly squared match between the two.
But if you look at it, we're seeing more strategy by way of patient tactic.
Counter-punching
On counter-punching by Ronquillo.
Yes. But in the judges' scorecards, they will also look at the aggression. And as far as aggressive boxing, Tilbe has it. From the very beginning of this match, he's always been the aggressor. Although at the beginning of the second round, Ronquillo showed a little bit of aggression, trying to move forward, only to be turned around and be put on the corner by Tilbe. But Ronquillo is showing a good counter striking and making Tilbe miss. And it seems during the end of the last seconds of the second round, Tilbe seems to be running out of air.
And that stamina is going to take into play on this third round. Let us see who still has enough gas tank.
Now it's a clinching game.
There we go. Good shot.
job from Ronquillo.
That is the
Short punches for.
That is the fifth
Tilbe.
flicker jab I've seen from Ronquillo, coach, and it's very
Yes,
effective.
Those are clean jabs.
And he's landing on the body. He's having
And
a
head
lean.
movements are great.
Oh, that
Good right. hook
Tilbe
from
trying to
Tilbe.
get into the body of Ronquillo. Ronquillo is just wiping it off. And Ronquillo has been maintaining this tactic for the whole evening. Quick punching. I'm seeing a little bit of Sugar Ray Leonard there.
Yes. blocking and trying to find an opening. Great right hook from Tilbe. Unleashing power punches, single punches. Good body shot. Good counter from Ronquillo.
I agree.
Ronquillo seems to be wobbling a little bit.
But then again, short punches are still coming in favor of Ronquillo. My God, this is a
Tilbe
good
has
bout,
to
coach.
continue his power punches.
And we're seeing Tilbe actually gasping for air, coach. So he has to be
And
very
those are the
efficient.
power punches he's throwing
He has to
relentlessly.
economize in the way he throws those punches because he has a turtle opponent.
But he's still pushing Ronquillo to the ropes.
And those are 4 punches that got into the guard of Tilbe in favor of Ronquillo.
Yes.
Ronquillo is maintaining the same strategy.
Both boxers now are trying to feel each other.
Ronquillo
We
is trying
might
to
just see a flurry again.
Ronquillo is trying to
Once
take
they-
advantage of the ropes. But then again, let's see. Oh, that's a good right hand that landed on Tilbe. Ronquillo, Tilbe, they seem to be equal at this point, coach.
Power punches from Tilbe, but all landing on Ronquillo's defenses. Some of the short, light punches are landing clean on Tilbe's head, while he blocks all of Tilbe's punches for Ronquillo.
So this fight is being
Good power
fought
punch
in the
from
pocket.
Ronquillo.
Let us
Body
see.
shot sinking in on Tilbe's body.
So whose body shot will win tonight's fight, coach? That's the
Yes,
question.
I think it's a fight of body shots. Good short upper from Ronquillo.
Okay, both fighters actually have good in-fighting skills. So that's something I did not expect.
I think both fighters are in-fighters, but Ronquillo stands as the defensive counter-puncher.
Considering that Tilbe has a longer reach, I was expecting that Tilbe would use that to his
Good
advantage.
counter.
But I have not seen that tonight.
This is the third bout. This is the third round of the
And
bout.
an
No!
uppercut against Ronquillo.
No!
Ronquillo is
Tilbe
wobbled.
is unleashing relentless uppercuts.
Is that a low blow?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
All right.
But those uppercuts,
A little bit of success there for Tilbe on the
Tilbe.
last part of the round.
yes, that will give him at least some points for the judges to see.
Okay,
On
I
the
think at this
scorecard.
point, coach, we have to. This is already the third round. We have 3 rounds remaining. If Ronquillo wants to convince the judges of a win, he has to find a different strategy now.
Yes, he has to change his game to switching to the aggressive boxer this time. Although his defensive boxing has earned him some clean strikes to the body and the head of Tilbe, I don't think it's going to be enough until he starts throwing his own flurry of punches to Tilbe.
I think Ronquillo is trying to bank on the stamina of Tilbe running out.
But I think Tilbe has a good gas tank because he's been throwing power punches, haymakers relentlessly.
The gas tank plus home court advantage. Everybody rooting for him here right now.
Maybe the crowd is adding to his stamina.
4th round
As
of the
motivation.
8th bout of the evening. Let us see if both fighters will have a different tactic and adjust their means of
Stiff
fighting.
jab again from Ronquillo.
Very efficient stiff jabbing by Ronquillo. But then again, if you notice, he's still hunched over. But both fighters still seem to have the same stamina, coach.
Yeah, but this time we see Tilbe stepping back. Let's see if Ronquillo has changed his game plan from defensive to starting to become aggressive on the 4th round.
All right.
Right
That's
hook
a right hook by Tilbe.
from Tilbe. Power punch did not land. Hit the air for Tilbe.
Okay, please don't tell me that this fight will be decided in the pocket for the whole 6 rounds. Both fighters seem to exhibit the same affinity of going into the pocket. But then again, we're seeing a lot of haymakers from Tilbe's side.
Tilbe's side, and this is 6 rounds.
All right, they're squaring it off. Still sportsmanship is the name of the game.
straight-
Ronquillo on the
That
block
straight
and
puts
white.
Tilbe on the ropes.
All right, we're seeing a reversal here. Tilbe is now on the ropes while Ronquillo is trying to be the aggressor of the game. Oh, that's a swing, a hard miss.
Hits the air for Ronquillo for that haymaker.
Nothing but air.
Yes.
Nothing but air. All
now
right, there we
Tilbe
go.
is pushing Ronquillo to the ropes.
Ronquillo trying to have that little bit of Sugar Ray Leonard right in there
Right.
against the ropes.
Light punches, pushes Tilbe away.
Tilbe seems to always be coming. He has a good stamina, coach.
Yes. Although those short punches from Ronquillo light, but they're clean punches.
That will
Landing on
basically counting in his
Tilbe's
favor.
chin, yes.
I don't think Ronquillo is trying to go for a knockout for tonight, coach.
Well, we're looking at 6 rounds, so maybe he's about to explode at the end of this round or probably on the 5th round,
All right.
conserving his energy. While Tilbe is going all out.
But that only
every
shows
round.
you experience in both fighters, trying to maximize on their learned experiences
These
from
boxers
previous
are
fights.
uniquely different from each other. Tilbe might have a longer and bigger gas tank than Ronquillo. That's why he's confident with throwing aggressive punches. Now Tilbe has slowed down a little bit. We don't see too much of the power punching on the 4th round.
But I actually appreciate how Ronquillo keeps on coming forward now.
Yes. So this is more like being able to land clean hits.
10 seconds
for
on the fourth round.
Where they're basically just banking points for the judges to see.
All right.
End of the 4th round. So I think the end of the 4th round, the last minutes of the 4th round was more on resting
All right.
and recovering for this boxer.
So that's a very efficient way of using the rounds in your favor from
Maybe
both
we'll
fighters.
see a more explosive round on the 5th round.
So I think, coach, if Tilbe was coming in for an early knockout on the 1st round, I think that plan is already out of the game.
Maybe, but as far as the judges' scorecard is concerned, that might earn him an advantage on the judges' scorecard on the 1st round.
Could
but
be,
then
could be.
again, we can't really discount the skill,
All
the
right.
defensive counter-striking skill of Ronquillo.
Both fighters already on their feet, anticipating entering into the 5th round for the 8th
We're
bout
hoping
of
to
the
see a
evening.
more explosive exchange of punches.
There goes
on
the bell.
5th round.
5th
now
round,
that
coach.
these boxers have recovered. Ronquillo throwing the first flurry of punches. Now Tilbe pushes Ronquillo to the ropes. We're not seeing any haymakers.
We're kind of seeing the same strategy from both fighters. Small punches, working from the inside.
You can see the percentage of power that they're throwing. This is just trying to earn points.
So they're basically trying to go the distance for this bout.
This is the 5th round.
So if this goes to the 6th, coach, this is the first bout that we'll see on the 6th round tonight.
To finish on the 6th round, right? Tilbe's aggression has
Waned.
Yeah, gone down a little. Maybe he's trying to reserve his energy
Alrighty.
for the 6th round.
So we're pretty much seeing the same of everything. Not
But
much that of a
again,
difference.
Tilbe is still pushing forward, trying to put Ronquillo to the ropes.
But we'll never know what's going on with both fighters' head. They're probably trying to cook something up as maybe an explosive surprise. What do you think, coach?
Maybe, but these punches are basically just to score points. But there's no power behind these punches that they're throwing. They're trying to just land points and clean hit to the head and the body.
But nevertheless, even with small punches like that, your energy still gets sapped down.
Yes, it's going to accumulate, and we're waiting to see if Tilbe is going to be the first one to throw the power punch or the haymaker again. But you can see how the power punches from the earlier rounds are taking its toll to Tilbe's stamina now.
He's having a lot of lean backs more often, whereas Ronquillo is still hunched
You can hear
forward.
the corners shouting, lakasan mo, suntok mo. Kasi mga suntok right now are basically just punches to throw and earn points.
Both fighters may want to go to the 6th round, but let us see if that's going to happen tonight.
We were waiting for the match to get more exciting as they throw light punches to each other.
But coach, you got to give props to the gas tank of both fighters tonight.
This is the 5th round of the 8th bout of the evening. But so far, no power punches are thrown just yet. We're waiting for any of these boxers
This is
to
actually
start throwing power punches.
this is actually a master class in boxing, coach.
This is more like an endurance bout, an endurance round for both fighters. But light punches are being thrown.
All right, I think they both have an understanding that the next round is going to be the make or break for tonight's bout.
This is
Round.
round number 6.
Finally, we're at round 6 tonight.
You might just see some explosive punches on the 6th round.
If I were both fighters, I would be doing the same.
6th round.
And
Okay,
here we
maybe
go.
the 5th round was more of a resting match. Or
Same as-
round
same
for
as the
this
4th.
match. Maybe we are about to see the unleashing of power punches on the 6th round.
Let us see how Joey Tilbe Jr. and Robert Ronquillo performs on the 6th round of the 8th bout of this evening. Here comes the ref.
It appears on
The
the first round,
final round.
Tilbe has the power punching. Maybe
Here we go.
he will unleash it this time on the 6th round. Both fighters on their feet, still throwing the same amount of punches.
And now we're seeing power punches.
There you go. Tilbe being very aggressive, throwing a flurry of power punches, putting
There we go.
Ronquillo on the ropes.
That was the strategy of Tilbe from the onset.
We
but
are
Ronquillo
expecting this.
is absorbing all the
But let's
punches
see.
and having his own power punching
This
as well.
is the first minute of the 6th round. Let's see if Tilbe is able to maintain this intensity on his punches.
The problem here, coach, is Ronquillo is trying to maintain the same strategy. He has to be more aggressive now. This is his last chance to make a good impression on the judges.
The power punching, I can still give the credit to Tilbe.
And there we go. Everybody's excited to see who emerges on top.
But
For the
clearly
6th
you can
round.
see the toll that. But Tilbe still has a little bit of stamina. And we're on the 2nd minute of the last round.
I want to see more action on the head of Ronquillo. Ronquillo is still the same strategy, using the same strategy. Tilbe is coming in more aggressive, but then again, it gets cut short. His stamina is running low, coach.
Right, but he's still the aggressive puncher, putting Ronquillo on the ropes all the time.
Ronquillo has to do something miraculous to make an impression on the judges if he wants to go to the
Now,
scorecard
Tilbe is
tonight.
still throwing some flurries, consecutive punches for Tilbe while pushing Ronquillo on the ropes, landing clean hooks and uppercuts.
It's amazing though
For
because
Tilbe.
if Tilbe was expecting an easy fight tonight, he was mistaken because Ronquillo was managing his defense very well, coach.
But is it enough to give him the win tonight?
We shall see. We shall see. Tilbe's hands are already down, but still fighting, still giving a flurry of
Tilbe still
haymakers.
throwing punches. 4 punches consecutively. Although not landing clean, but 1 out of 4 punches lands to the head and the body of Ronquillo.
Tilbe still with the same defense, receiving the edge of the defense, receiving punches on the elbow, trying to sneak in a hook and a straight. Sometimes
Ronquillo
landing, sometimes not.
seems to maintain a defensive counter-punching style, while Tilbe
Last
pushes
10
him against
seconds.
the corner, again drawing the strength from the crowd, and
Ronquillo
being
trying to
the
reverse
aggressive
Tilbe,
boxer.
but it was just too late. The 6th round has ended, and both fighters have gone the distance. We will go to the judges' scorecards.
Tilbe remained the aggressive puncher till the end of the 6th round. Let's see how the judges will score this, with Ronquillo being the skillful defensive counter puncher. However, the aggressive puncher and relentless throwing flurries of punches came from Tilbe.
On
So,
a
let's
technical aspect, coach, the aggression of Tilbe could be denatured by the defense of Ronquillo. However,
But on
the judges may not
scorecard,
see that as
Yes.
that way.
As a judge, you're also supposed to look at the aggression of the boxer. If the boxer is more has more intent on trying to sink in more punches, then the favor will go to that aggressive boxer.
Ronquillo might be banking on Tilbe running out of
And the
gas.
medals will
If that
be
was his plan,
awarded
it
by
backfired.
The richest man in
He
Montalban,
brought the game,
Rizal,
the same
Rich
game plan
Don
until the end of the
Landicho.
6th round.
All
So
right.
let's see how the judges is gonna score this bout and whose favor they will put it to.
Okay.
Ikaw, partner, who do you think has the upper hand?
I think this bout goes to Tilbe Jr. of Montalban.
In my opinion, as far as aggressive boxing is concerned, I would give it to Tilbe as well. Although I cannot discredit how accurate the punching of Ronquillo is, but his back was always on the ropes and he was countering skillfully. But again, those are counter punches.
Kudos
Let's see
though.
how the
Both
judges
fighters
is gonna
have had
score
good
this.
conditioning in preparation for this fight. And
As far as the 4th and 5th round, for me, it was the resting round for both fighters. But the 6th round, I have to give Tilbe the credit for at least drawing his stamina from the crowd and from whatever he has remaining to push Ronquillo to the ropes and throw at least a few more power punches out of his pocket.
looking at this situation right now, you can actually see Ronquillo just walking around, still obviously having enough energy, and Tilbe is already wobbling on his legs, barely
Yes,
hanging in
You
there.
can say that Tilbe gave it all of his stamina. for
He
this
gave it
fight.
all. He
After
gave it all for tonight.
6 rounds of professional boxing, we go to the judges' scorecards. All 3 judges, Virgilio Garcia, Carlo Baluyot, Greg Ortega, scores the bout 57-57. We have a unanimous draw.
Oh, that's a draw
It's a
from
draw.
the judges.
See, like I said, we cannot discredit how
And the
skillful
medal to be awarded
the counter
by
punching
the richest
and the defensive
man
boxing
in Montalban,
that
Rizal,
Ronquillo displayed
Rich
in
Don
this match.
Landicho.
Coach, if you think about it, that is 2 draws now for both fighters in their professional record. And I
Yes.
would agree with the judges. If you think about it, no one really had an upper hand in those 6 rounds.
It was because of Ronquillo's
Defense.
skillful defensive counter punching. He would wait for Tilbe to finish his flurry, defending most of the punches, and then as he counters, he would land a clean hit. So that probably gave the judges a hard time trying to score Tilbe the win because Ronquillo would land clean counter punches to Tilbe.
So that is our first draw decision for the evening.
Yes, and
Happened
that
in the
was
8th bout.
that was 6 rounds of pure boxing that ended
In a draw.
in a draw and giving the referee the hard time of deciding, ending on a draw.
I hate to be one of those judges, Coach. I
It's
hate to be
hard.
one of them.
When you're judging,
I'm happy
and
just to
you can't
commentate and
really
give my
tell
opinions
who the
here in this
winner
fight.
is.